Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, today I want to talk about. Today I want to talk about. There's a video going around that people are sending to everybody, and some say, "Oh, it brought tears to my eyes." You know. But wait a minute. Let me give my version of the video, of what I think about the video, before you go into tears and rants and stuff like that. First of all, I noticed that the narrator of the video, called himself Dark Master. You know what I mean? So this is just dark scenario, you know, dark scenario, dark master scenario. But I ain't gonna feed in too much into that aspect of the scenario. But then, okay, they talking about how the only the objective that they had was because we was being called niggers and stuff like that was to do this, that, and other thing during the 30s and 40s and those types of scenarios. But now, when we talking about a street scenario, who was running the streets? What type of methods was they using when they was running the streets? Okay, now back then they had some illegal drugs or whatever may be involved, like mainly heroin was been around for a long time, and then you had what they had prohibition, where alcohol and stuff was involved. Now you had these guys, and all these guys they was raw. They the one who invented the drive-by shootings. You know, their drive-by shootings, they had stands on the side of their cars that was made for them to stand on the side of the car with the Tommy machine guns. That was their drive-by shootings, And who could forget the St. Valentine's Day massacre? Okay, and now these guys also they did their thing, but their objective was to legitimize things. They went so as far as went to a whole nother place that was inoperative and built it from scratch and created their own laws. And their main revenue was gambling. Now that's something that's that's been around forever because the house always wins. So now they got the lotto, they got the mega, they got the Wisconsin, and then multi-trillion-dollar operations, where the house always wins. And so now let's talk about the word, because I know that's gonna go backwards, forwards for like forever. The word nigga, you know what I mean? And I noticed like way back when that people been changing the definitions of words. They would change definition of words like cool and that cat is and they've been changing the definitions of words like forever. Now the difference is in all the what they call it ebonics now, and it's in different languages. Latinos got their own what you call it ebonics, Latino and Spanish, and and so. The difference is the difference of that is knowing when a word definition of a word is changed and who's communicating it, that they know what it means to them versus someone else looking at the same word for the old definition or definition that they want to make up for it for themselves. So that's the difference, and that's difference in that. What when people call themselves niggers, and even some people they get offended. Like you got some cool people from other races who adapted, and they want to be a part of that. That is meant that's not where they're coming from with it. You know what I mean? And sometimes they have a lot of problems as well. But the point of the matter is that they've been changing definitions of words and using it as their own, with their own meanings, their own different versions of it. I mean, like forever, you know, as far as that aspect of things go. Now let's talk about, some of the things that have been happening in these black communities and things of that nature, Latinos, communities, minorities communities and stuff like that, things they collaborated on, and a lot of sacrifices that were made, with drugs and and people being killed and stuff like that. Well, let's talk about it. I noticed that in that video, they also, when they show prominent people that they supposed to be mad about, they show, oh, this first black being there, oh, the president, Barack Obama, but there's a lot of people who went through those channels, opened up a whole lot of doors from people who was limited, and the majority wasn't going to make it through those channels. They opened up a whole lot of doors, started a whole lot of legitimate businesses, opened up a whole lot of legitimate ways for people to come through other doors, and made a whole lot of millionaires and billionaires, in the process, So, for me, no one needs to be crying. That's what they want. That's what you want to believe you need to be doing. That's what they want to believe that, it's like proving a point to say, well, we started out saying that, this was these kind of people, they were no good, they couldn't do nothing, they couldn't accomplish nothing, and look what they're doing, look where they are. So they making you believe that, they right about you all along, and not acknowledging, all the accomplishments that came through those channels, whatever, I mean, I see how long things have to last and how long people have to go through those scenarios with all the, avenues that's been handed to them to, to overcome all these things. I'm not, I could get into the semantics of that aspect of things, but, but coming at them that way, and discouraging, all the accomplishments that they made, and even dismissing, not even mentioning the accomplishments that they made through the venues. I can't accept that, and I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I can go back and watch all those hangings, all those whippings, all those water hoses, all those, the things that the way they separated families and the things they did to families. I can go back and watch all of that, and and think about how inhumane those scenarios are. But I could go way ahead, and regardless of what other methods that we came up with, to create other ways for us, for us to overcome. I'm not dismissing that aspect of it as some type of tragedy or something, or some type of idiots or something. Or we just savages, killing each other and all this stuff that they want us to believe, So, in closing, I will say to all you ones who thirsty, next time you visit Coca-Cola, drink some vitamin water instead. It only costs you $100 million, regardless of what needs to be done with the money, It only costs you $100 million. What, $100 million? What's that's $1 billion, huh? You want $1 billion, huh? Just drink some vitamin water. Vitamin water. Vitamin water.